Evelyn, what'd you do with this?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure. You be the judge.
Abba, did you write on this?
Well, I wrote with my computer mouse.
But you wrote on the wheel.
Yeah.
Did you write on the wheel? Okay, we have two more then. You didn't write, right?
I think the cardinal sin. I didn't give it a name.
Oh, well, you have to have a name. Everything has to have a title. Maybe you could be thinking of a title for her.
The large wagon wheel
I don't seem to have one, excuse me. Is there an extra copy or?
Yes.
All right.
Evelyn, you have New Year's.
You get this?
I'm sorry?
Yes, I did. Thank you.
It's 12, you bought 12,000, 2,000.
Oh, 2000. Still in 207. The large wagon wheel reclining against the old birch tree is symbolic of our aging population. Generally, our bodies are intact as the spokes in the wheel, perhaps rusty in places, but securely put together and functional. Again, it takes all parts of our system to function holistically. I see the current aging population as the hub of our universe. Excuse me. We are responsible for their being, as well as their parents. Society cultured them in education and beyond, as society has done for generations. We should look at these achievements as a positive part of our lives. We must never forget the value of example. It is a lifelong attribute. If we continue to ponder these concepts together and abstain from underestimating their worth, we will continue to be part of the hub of life. No
Tied that last in nicely, didn't you? The hub of life.
But I did find it a difficult assignment.
Excuse me?
I found it difficult.
You did find that a difficult assignment? Did a name strike you as we heard this?
Yes. I love the phrase, hub of life.
Yeah. Hub of life, yes, I like that too.
Could have used it for the title.
Yes.
There's no title.
I just said there was no title. I tackled it too late last night. That's hard.
She's used that term twice in here, hub of our universe for the aging population, and hoping that we continue to be a part of the hub of life. That's the thing that holds it all together. Well, we didn't come up with a startling title for you.
No. I have to think about it.
Yeah, think about it. Okay, Gloria, what'd you do?
I did the wheel. I'm sorry I didn't put my name on this.
Here, I'll help you.
The date is not important, the name, so I didn't start with it.
You need more over here?
I'll take one.
I think I got a blank, and I'll take an extra one.
We didn't get it.
I did give it a title and I kept it to one page, but it is a little bit long, so I'm...
Well, it looks like she's following the theme here, doesn't it?
This is titled The Heiress. The old wagon wheel reclines against the birch in the snow-laden field behind Aunt Rose's farmhouse in Austerlitz, New York. Its weathered spokes remain intact. The wagon it was originally hitched to is gone. Probably was when Aunt Rose and Uncle Ben bought their weekend house in 1957. They're both gone now, too. No children to inherit their legacy. Last year, one of Uncle Ben's nephews sold the property where the wagon wheel had rested for $2.5 million. My mother Lena was angry at first that all the money went to Uncle Ben's side of the family. But it's been over 40 years now since Aunt Rose died at 57, and Lena admits she wasn't really entitled to any of the money Aunt Rose had worked for. She would have welcomed it had Uncle Ben offered, but she also knew that's the way they drew up their wills. Simply stated, the surviving spouse's family shall inherit the land. Amen. Lena is the last survivor of her 5 siblings. She worked as a beautician at Miss Lillian's salon in the Bronx after she graduated high school, but never long enough to accumulate any money. And yet, at 92, Lena proudly puffs her chest, telling everyone, "I'm a millionaire. I have 4 children, 10 grandchildren, and 8 great-grandchildren." And with her nose in the air, asks, "I'll bet you're not as rich as me." Today, Lena's testament to her millionaire status can be seen in the 3-by-4-foot poster board collage of her life's work of nurturing, which hangs on the wall of her room at the Hebrew home in Riverdale. When we presented it to her at her surprise 75th birthday, she said, "Oh, good. Now you'll have this ready for the funeral parlor when I die." I'm glad we haven't had to display it there yet. Mom still gets to enjoy sharing it with anyone who comes to her room, always commenting, "I'm a millionaire." All of us in Lena's circle of love are enormously wealthy. Lena's beauty radiates from the black and white wedding picture in the center taken in 1941 and spills over onto children's photos, mostly taken at the Bronx Zoo and Botanical Gardens. Gradually, the photos become more vivid as celebrations with grandchildren color the perimeter. Whenever I invite Mom to share memories of her life, I tell her how beautiful she is. She agrees. I was beautiful, but she'll be sure to add SPS. I know. And together we'll laugh. Self-praise stinks. On the other side of Lena's room hangs an antique framed black and white photo of Lena and her sister Rose on their confirmation day in 1921. Their button-lace shoes, white stockings, and ribbon-waisted dresses are the same, and they're both holding bouquets of roses with garlands in their hair. Neither sister is smiling, but Rose looks sad, while Lena has a twinkle in her eyes. They were so close always, and so opposite. I never had her nerve. She was brazen. I was too scared, but not her, Lena said. Aunt Rose was a feminist, an adventurer, and an achiever. She traveled alone to California, graduated Bellevue Nursing School, eloped, and drove a car before any of the women in my family. In Belmore, where she and Uncle Ben had lived, they tilled the soil, planted, and jarred. She had 2 Springer Spaniels and an Irish setter named Jake. She loved exploring in her world, and she possessed a mystique that intrigued me. And unlike my mother, no one dictated who she should be. These were Aunt Rose's riches. To live life as fully as you can is the legacy these 2 beautiful women left for me.
Very nice. Beautiful story. Very nice. Beautiful. Nice story, isn't it? All right, comments on Gloria's first story to us.
Very appropriate. Gives us an inkling into Gloria's personality. We know her better now.
Yes. That's how we get to know each other, is through stories, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
And
Gloria Pasaccio.
she's used some comments in here, some dialogue, which is good. I never heard of SFS before.
No, but we have to use
Is that new in is that your family?
My mom uses it all the time.
That was
I'm
good.
asked about it.
We used to say self-praise is no honor.
Excuse me?
We used to say self-praise is no honor.
Oh, is that what that means?
No, I mean, that's just the same thing.
Oh, I see. I see what you're saying, yes.
Can we use it?
Well, I'm sure Lena's going to provide us with many more stories.
I hope so.
And you can start your book for your family, which is such an important thing. Everybody was here last time when I brought Joanne's book.
Yes.
You weren't here with
Oh, it was wonderful. It was
show it
wonderful.
to you. It's so beautifully
It
done.
is beautifully
And,
done.
I think it,
Irene, do you know where she had that done?
at Minuteman Press.
That's
right,
on
Yes.
Avenue.
But we have an idea now how to get it done much more economically. That was quite expensive with the color pictures and so on. The books have cost, once the artwork was done, it only cost $15 a book to have it done and bound, which wasn't bad. That's what I paid too. But there's a woman in the garden club who did our newsletter when we were doing the newsletter. and she's retired, but she's very, very good. She even has a binding machine to do that spiral binding, and she's willing to do it and set it up, and she would charge a nominal price. You know, Ann Ryder. Remember Ann?
I just know the name, I never heard it.
Oh, you never knew her? Yes.
I went around from printer to printer and found you need a special machine. If you use the type that Irene is suggesting, it makes holes in the paper. So one printer said, you don't want to do that to your documents. There's an they call it adhesive binding, and Kinko's has it. The Kinko's down in New Rochelle on Palmer Avenue will take it for you $4.95. They do something called adhesive binding. It gives you a clear lucite front with a black tape on it. And I just did 5
Can
lines.
you add pages to it then, or is that,
it's
no, that's the advantage of having the whole.
Well, you can go for another one for the $4.95. That's how I got 5 lines.
Let's see, we're gonna keep moving along after your story.
Well,
You know, with a good stocking shop.
You have copies?
no, what happened, I don't know.
Make another edition.
Wait till they get more in it.
All right. Anybody else have anything they want to read? Bob has a poem he did when he was on you were on a cruise, right?
This will be 30 seconds. January 9th, 2008, St. Thomas, Virgin Islands. January 11th, 2008 at sea. January 13th, 2008 at home. That accounts for the revisions. Ants. Many times I watched in awe as little ants marched across the floor. Helter-skelter to and fro, without a doubt they seemed to go. By chance, again on another day while cruising in St. Thomas's Bay, I saw from my balcony on the faraway shore so many cars, more and more. Helter-skelter they seemed to go like the ants to and fro. Without much effort, I could plainly see, anthropomorphically speaking, ants are like we.
Where are these ants? Not on the ship, Harold.
That was sweet.
I'm Aaron.
Did they have a writing class on the ship?
No.
Somebody one day talked about writing.
That's a good idea, though, isn't it? On the cruises. I have a couple
Excuse
of
me.
retired friends who made it.
Could you just give me a couple of comments?
Comments?
Yeah, about your participation, about the class, and about lyric.
Our class is wonderful because the teacher, Irene Schindler, makes it wonderful. She sometimes gives us assignments. She sometimes lets us write what we like to write. She is very positive, has a wonderful sense of humor, and without her, the class would not be the same.
Oh, thank you. What's your name?
Nikki Rubenstein.
Thank you, Mickey.
You're welcome.